What's up, guys? Time to show off a new build that will be available tonight. This is, if you followed me for a while, this was my pilot version 1 Radioactive. I did these. This was one of my first custom dials that I did after the Kraken. I took a typical kind of pilot dial, distressed it, and then added the Radioactive little logo there at the top. I used to do these in distressed versions, like super distressed, like in brass and dark colors, and then silver with painted. They were all super distressed. But I did a couple of them where there were like a nice like anodized kind of blue look and an anodized pink look. And I was going through my dials and found one, and I thought I should probably put one up. I have not done one of these in a long time. A lot of my newer, like this was an acid etched and baked dial, whereas my ones now are lasered. Often the indices are lasered out, they're backside loomed. So this is an earlier version of what I used to do on dials. So you can see that nice blue, and you've got kind of a distressing in there. There's some like yellow. I guess yellow is the proper word there. Did this on a 650 brushed case. This has it's still a 41, but it has a 20 millimeter lug width here. Your Radioactive logo, did a milled caseback and then lasered. Has a nice blue look, and I thought that was perfect to go with this watch. Did a sawtooth bezel. I had one of these with this insert already on it where it couldn't work on something else. This is an insert, or I'm sorry, a bezel I used to use a long time ago. Didn't know I had it. So you're getting a lot of what you could have got from me probably 3 years ago. And then my buddy Gillespie had sent me a very nice blue leather with a nice, it's like a mixed in. If I'm looking at it in person, it is a brown. Like that's definitely brown, right? But this is weird, but it's like a brown gray. And I thought that also went perfect with it. So there's a little stamp here on the back with my press. Brushed preview buckle, 20 millimeter as well, and that's the build. I thought it came out pretty awesome. You got a set of Vostok 24 silver hands in there, and that's it. Bezel will turn left, it'll turn right. It is a tension ring bezel. The other thing I thought was really cool is your 5's labeled, but your 10 isn't. Your 10's labeled out here. Your 15 is labeled, but not out here. So it's a reverse labeling. So that was the other thing that I thought was really cool and worked. So your interior is your hours, your exterior are your minutes, but not all your minutes are referenced in there. So we left those open because I did like a MiG-29 pilot style dial one where we threw planes in between. So I might get into a little bit of that here again at some point. I've been doing stuff with more loom lately, and this, your only loom is your hands. So, but automatic mechanical, as they all are. There's a rotor back here. You just can't see it. Before you put it on, wind it just a little bit. Now you do that as you back the crown off the threads, and you hear it and feel it clicking. And at that point, you can wind. And a wind is a turn away from you. Turning it towards you doesn't wind it, but it is a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and keep it from rethreading if you just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixture through rotor movement will keep your time throughout the day. But if you're not going to be active at all, make sure you wind it for a little bit longer, because you don't want it stopping on you because you are not self-winding it. So another 5-10 seconds, you'll max out your 31-hour power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. You can wind all day if you want. Just won't accept anything more than full wind out. You just don't know it's fully wound. Other than you'd have to just assume that it's fully wound because you've been winding it for a long time. So that said, when you're happy with that, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click. You can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement and putting any pressures on the keyless works. If you have a slight pull, you won't even feel it. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 1:29 p.m.
1:29 p.m. When you're good, you're going to push it over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. And that is the build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. Wife was able to get some really cool beads in the mix. This will come in a gray radioactive box. It's going to come with watch foamer. This is a cleaner for all glass and metal, so everything here in the center, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. Will also come with leather conditioner to keep that strap perfectly soft if you ever feel that it's not. Apply it on the front and back, let it soak in, and remove any excess. And then lastly, some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like Polywatch. It's for your acrylic glass. You can scratch it. If you do, you'll put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your color matching microfiber. If the scratch is decently deep, just keep hitting it. Let it solidify in between each time. So fill it, buff it, haze it, buff it out, and if you still see it, wait a little bit and then revisit it because you're building back that layer of whatever you took out. So that's the build. If it's going to you, congrats. Actually, it's like a blue-gray, which is perfect. In person, it looks gray, but when the light hits it, I can kind of see that it was blue. So I bet you this was partially blue stained. So that even goes with it even more. So it's like I've planned it all out. And if it's going to you, congrats. If it's not, I can build you something custom and unique. Just reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.